reactions from mature audiences only. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire.
Oh yeah, you know what time it is. What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from the friendly confines of Hardcore Sounds Live Studios. And most of you know where that's at, but for those of you who are, you're a couple in, been there, herbal refreshment, what have you, and you may need some direction, let me help you out. It's just down the street, past the house with the boarded up windows. Make sure you stop at the corner and ask my man Joe. He's a gentleman, he's a scholar, as well as a man of commerce. Sipping what you should. He's going to point you in the right direction. He's going to tell you to take a left and then a right. And as you find yourself strolling down the damn street, minding your own goddamn business, a cool breeze will hit you that chills you right to your skeletal core. And you'll find yourself asking, was that the autumn wind? You goddamn right. Should you venture down that deep dark alley? Well, of course you should. Because what you're going to find at the end is a special little place that we like to call Deep Behind the Enemy Line. This is Raider Reaction, and as it is every Tuesday, it's the Raider Nation Report with yours truly, a solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. And I thank you for joining me. As always, you get a little double dose. Thought we were gonna have Big L in the house on his return from the Houston game, but not sure if we're gonna get Big L this week or not due to the holiday on Thursday. We'll see. Big L's gonna be out. I don't know, dressed as a big pumpkin or something. I don't know, but I'm sure he's got something going on, and of course I do as well. Although, I may be back here enough in time for a special Halloween edition. We'll see. We'll see. But more to come on that. More to come on that. But thank you, each and every one of you, for joining me. As always, we appreciate you spending any time with us here at Raider Reaction. Thank you, each and every one of you. So, where should we start? Should we start with the big news of the day? Is it really big news? I guess it's the big news of Tuesday. The trade deadline came and passed in Raiderland, and nothing happened really. There were no major deals. I mean, I don't know what anybody honestly expected. It seemed like everybody was waiting right up until the minute of like you were going to get some big news, like, oh, you know, we got the next, you know. Number ones don't just fly around, and superstars don't just get traded just because a deadline's coming. I don't get that. I don't get that. But I guess the big news is, you know, obviously we're beat up at linebacker. That's one of the biggest concerns. And we scoop up Brandon Marshall. And you also get Will Compton added in the house to help out at linebacker as well. Both middle linebackers, both with experience. And I kind of look at it like this, and I posted it to the page earlier. And I kind of look at it like this. It's like, you know, you're a single dude. You're sitting around the bar. You know, you're 3 sheets to the wind. You feel a little saucy, like some company for the evening. You're looking around. It's the last call. You know, well, you got one chick over here. You know, you took her home one night and then you never called her again the next morning. So you got her. You got this other one. You know, she's got like 3 teeth. So these are kind of what, you know. That's kind of what our linebacker market looks like. We got. Hold on. Back the truck up. Hold on. We got studs. Brandon Marshall and Will Compton. Now, I'll agree with you. You're factual on the Brandon Marshall and Will Compton part. But studs? Studs? Now, just because they put on a Raider jersey does not automatically mean they become studs. Let's not overstep the reality here. Brandon Marshall was a guy who needed a fucking job. He had to, how many linebackers on the Raiders had to get injured before we even wanted to call his ass? We were sitting, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, we're sitting at the bar looking over there and like, you know, he's over there, Brandon Marshall's over there winking at you like, hey, sup, baby, I'm still over here. And be like, I see you, but damn. You know, line you up a couple shots of Cuervo, and maybe I'll be ready to go over there and renegotiate. Just like, it's a stud, really? And your stud Will Compton. Over the last 3 years, well, let's just go with the last 2, shall we? The guy started 5 games in the last 2 years. He's got 1 sack ever. So no, these guys aren't studs. These guys are stopgaps. Hopefully, you can keep them in the wound long enough that will stop the bleeding until we get a couple of these other guys back to help out. But this is going to be a position of concern. It's been a position of concern for seasons as who's going to be our middle linebacker. We've rotated bodies at this position, and we're at it again right now, and you're trying to plug the middle, man. This is the middle. This is typically your quarterback on the defensive side of the ball. Exactly. My God, how many, you know, yeah, let's go get Bowman. Ain't nobody signed his ass for 2 seasons either, Bobby. You're right. And these guys are crazy. They start calling out these names. It's like, let's just go to the graveyard and start digging up bodies. You know, hey, can you stand up? Fuck it, get out here. Are they better? That's why they were sitting at home. That's why they were sitting at home. I hope they play well and they're serviceable. But let's be real here. You're talking about two guys who really didn't have a job. For a reason. I mean, Brandon Marshall's he's a play away on a bad wheel from being sitting on your fucking IR and sucking money off of you. He's one play away. And that's why he's back. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It like I said, man, it's like sitting at last call and you're looking around and, you know, this is what's left. This is what's left. And I guess, you know, I'm going to go home with the chick that, you know, I slept with 6 months ago and then didn't call her back ever. But hey, baby, what's up? I guess that's what we're doing now. All right. Hey, you still remember the playbook? All right, come on. Come along. But like Jamie says, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And it is what it is. We didn't have the capital to go trading away, to do anything crazy. And who did you really think we were going to get? Who did you really think we were going to get? You saw the guy with the fancy jacket coming on and telling you we were going to get Diggs and all these other motherfuckers. We were going, trade rumor. Listen, just because I come on here and say it doesn't make it a rumor. That's not how rumors start. That's not how that works, okay? It takes a credible source to start a rumor. You've had to hear it from somebody else, not just, hey, man. It's not, because you thought of something, a thought does not become a rumor. That's not how that shit works. That's not how any of this works. So you've got some of these guys that, you know, drive clicks and, you know, they're all over your social media feeding you a fucking bunch of bullshit and scenarios. I guess if you want bullshit and scenarios with your, you know, your Wheaties in the morning, you can go ahead and watch them guys. I'll be here in the evening to give you the straight dope. But no, we weren't going to get Diggs. That was never even in the fucking works. He was pissed off and disgruntled, so you saw him whine in the fucking news for a minute. Yeah, Robbie Anderson was going to come and save the fucking day. You wanted Robbie Anderson? Seriously? You know, I had that guy bouncing around on the bench of my fantasy team for a couple fucking seasons. That guy's fucking waiver wire trash. You want him? What's he going to do? This team needs one thing on offense. One thing. All right, one thing. You've got your offensive line. Now, it'd be great if they could all fucking play together at the same time. That'd be fucking fabulous. We get 10 snaps with him, and then Hudson goes out, and we don't know how long he's out for. Word has it he's not going to IR, but he's going to be out for a minute. So that's why we went and picked up Magnuson today to help out. Andre James did great filling in, but what have you. But we've got our offense. They just need to stay fucking healthy and stay on the field. We've got a stud fullback, stud new young running back, and D-Wash and Richard are doing good filling in relief. Thank God I never have to fucking see Doug Martin again. Why I had to live with him last year, I don't understand it. It's painful. But he's gone, and we've moved on. And thank God there's a new number 28. You've got your tight end. Hell, you've got 2 of them. You might even have 3. Renfro's your slot. You've got a solid number 2. Tyrell Williams. Hell, Zay Jones may even be a number 2. Hybrid number 3. But we do not have a number 1. And you've seen it in the fourth quarter of this last game. Everybody is wanting to throw the blame in every direction. And we come in every game showing our hand. Saying, we don't have that fucking number 1 threat. We don't have that guy to challenge your number 1 wide receiver. Or your number 1 corner. We don't have that guy. So, automatically, their secondary gets better by default. Because now their stud corner, whoever we're playing, does not even have to worry about spending the entire Sunday matched up against a true number one wide receiver. He doesn't. He doesn't. He's going to be stuck against a number two. That means you're now your number two corners playing against a number three. They're all playing out of the slot they should be in. And you've seen it. Every great quarterback has that wide receiver, man, that they've attached themselves to. That they all have had him. And Derek Carr has never been aligned with that great wide receiver. He's never had a true number one. We wanted Amari Cooper to be a true number one. He wasn't a true number one. He had flashes here and there. You had 2016 was his best year, and you had Crabtree on the other side, and between the two of them, they were like a number one together. But that was about it. You've never had that true number one. He's my guy. I trust him. I can go to him when I need it. He'll make the play. Other than 16, where you got it basically combined out of two guys, he's never really had it. He's never had it. Thought he was going to have it this year. Rolled the dice, bringing in some fucking absolute clown and trying to bring him in. That didn't work. So you come into the season missing a key piece on offense. You've got a quarterback that you have groomed now to be possibly one of the elite in the league, and he's missing the number one fucking thing a quarterback needs to be great. The number one thing. Oh, Raiders Papa. Amen, my brother. You ain't lying. Stick a guy like Tim Brown with Derek Carr. Man, these two were just a generation away. They needed each other. Carr's the quarterback. Brown always needed. Brown's the wide receiver. Carr's always needed. It's hard to find those guys that have that just straight consistent. And I don't know if that's the big move that you go out and make in the offseason next year, is you go out and you get that guy, but you can't get that guy next year. You can't go out on the streets and find a number one wide receiver. They're not out there. You can't find that. Who are you going to call? Des Bryant? Terrell Owens? Ocho Cinco? Those three motherfuckers are standing on every fucking street corner around every fucking stadium in the league with a fucking cardboard sign saying, "We'll play for anything." No, thank you. Flush all three of them motherfuckers. Al's right. They're at Home Depot. Standing right next to the homies wanting to dig a drywall. Right. He'll do you mudding. He'll hang it. I catch touchdowns. Come on. You can use one of us, right? Richard, I agree. I thought Zay did well. And he's a nice fill-in. But is he a number one? Is he a number one, man? Because you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself if you think he's the new number one and he's going to be your guy for the season. The story, I don't see it. We're doing everything we can. It's a rotisserie wide receiver right now. It's like one of those fucking hot dog fucking Ferris wheels at 7-Eleven. We just throw to whichever one comes around. And then that's kind of what we're doing. Tyrell Williams did okay for 3 quarters. He kind of impersonated a number one there for quite a while. But at the end of the game, there's just there's more than hands. There's more than to be a number one wide receiver. You've got to. It's more than just the hands, man. You've got to want the ball in the most crucial times of the game. You've got to always want the ball. You've got to be able to shut out the noise. It's to be a number one. It's just, it takes a special kind of guy, and you're not gonna find that in week 8 of an NFL season. You're not. So we got Zay Jones and Tyrell Williams, and we're gonna try to scab together a number one and see if we can make this happen. But this team, it is what it is. We don't come in, and we're not coming in sexy. We're going to come in. We're going to take our fucking badass offensive line. We're going to run behind our fullback. We're going to fucking hand the ball to Josh Jacobs. We're going to hit you in the mouth with our fucking little beast mode junior. And we're going to move the ball. We're going to dink and dunk. We're going to take high percentage passes. And if we see the chance, we'll take it every now and then. But man, we're not going to take a shot if it ain't there. So if you're going to run that kind of offense, you've got to be super, super consistent, which Derek Carr has been. Be super, super consistent and not turn the ball over. That's the key to this type of offense. You can't turn the ball over, and you've got to get touchdowns, man. You've got to generate and grind touchdowns out. You can't go down and kick field goals. Fucking give him a call, Raymond. See if Barry Sanders wants to come with him. Devontae Parker is an interesting one because he's disgruntled. He's down in Miami. Everybody wants off of that fucking sinking ship. AJ Green, I want no fucking part of that paper mache motherfucker. He cannot stay healthy. You want AJ Green? He hasn't even played a snap this season. You want him? You crazy? God damn, I don't know what you're smoking, but pass that shit around my way. That must be good. Good Lord. It's a position of need. It's a position of concern. So, I like to have something as a barometer. A measuring stick, will you, to where the rest of the football world sees us. Now, everybody's got rankings. Everybody's got a ranking. Every fucking douchebag out there's got a ranking and a top 10 and this and that and the other. But I like to pick one, a reputable source, as reputable as any of them, because none of them are really reputable. They're all just click whores. That's all they are. Y'all motherfuckers, bunch of click whores. Just whoring yourself for clicks. And I like to go with ESPN, the worldwide leader in click whores. So we say purple drink? Purple drink. Easy. Jamarcus getting excited. Did you say something about some weed? You got some weed? Hey! Fucking Jamarcus, man, bringing his fucking buddy, fucking Todd Marijuanovich up in the house. God damn. You see what you guys have started? This is what happens. Fucking mentioning purple drink and bud, and now I got Marijuanovich up in the house, Jawaris. It's a typical Tuesday night. Oh, damn. And then you go, come on, Leslie. Come on. Come on. Now we got Stevel Juice running around in here. This shit's just about to get off the goddamn. It's about to get crazy. Purple drink. Come on, man. Come on. Got some weed? Fucking come on, man. Come on. You guys know better. Oh, this is your... I just ain't right. All right, moving along. So the parameter that I like to use, or the worldwide leader in click horse, ESPN, I use their rankings. Because you can't go from one ranking to another. You can't be like, well, they're ranking this on this one, and then jump over to another ranking the next week and go look at USA Today. Now, if you're going to go with USA Today, then that's cool. They're as reputable as anybody else. But you got to roll with them all year. So that way you're comparing apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? Or not comparing apples and oranges, you're comparing apples to apples all the way through. So if you're going to go with USA Today, or if you're going to go, you got to go with what you're going to go with. So, I've decided to use ESPN. So, last week, we were 18. We'd been moving up, man. Even in losses and our bye week, we'd moved up in the rankings. But we only fell one spot after the loss. Only one spot, dropping to 19. So, I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling good. That basically tells me that everybody else kind of seen what we seen as well. That was a game you really should have won. A young team that let one get away against a very good team. We should have won that game. That's one you can legitimately say, we let that one get away, and I hope that one doesn't come back to bite us. But that doesn't change what you feel about this team and who this team is. So, when I look at that ranking, it's kind of really where we are. We're middle of the road, right around 500. Right around 500. So you got to look at what we got going forward. But you got to look forward, but you can't forget about what you just went through. Because what you just went through was one of the hardest and most grueling road stretches that an NFL franchise has been handed. I just spoke on that, Jay, for about 10 goddamn minutes. If Carr's not getting sacked, why are we still taking L's? He doesn't have a number one wide receiver to stretch the field. We're forced to dink and dunk and chunk the way down the field, and we're not dynamic and we're not explosive. We're missing that gear, man. We're missing the next gear in our offense. That you see blood in the water, that circle the... You see blood in the water and you start circling like sharks. You that go for the throat, that when you step on the throat, when it's just they need that next gear. And I don't know how you fix the problem of not having a number one wide receiver. This is something I've been over the past several weeks. I've just been like, how do you fix that? How do you fix that? It's a gigantic hole. You're trying to mask it. You're trying to scheme around it every week. You're trying to do everything you can. You're trying to use the pieces that you can in different ways. But you're doing it in spite of... He is solid. Williams is solid. But he's a 2. He's a 2. The best thing he's ever going to be is a really, really good 2. It's just truth. And that's what he was brought in to be. He was hired. He applied. Yo, I hear you guys need another 2 wide receiver. Yes, Mr. Williams, please sit down. Tell us about your experience. Well, you see. He came in to be a number 2. We hired him to be a number 2. But, the fucking clown that we had lined up to be the 1 flaked out. Then there weren't any others in the fucking hopper. So, all of a sudden, you're looking at him and like, I guess you're the 1, brah. And yeah, it's a great opportunity, but Ones are ones. A number one NFL wide receiver, a true number one NFL wide receiver, is a special commodity. It's just not something you go and pluck out of the fucking air. It's a special commodity. Zay Jones is not a number one, and neither is Tyrell Williams. But we're going to have to do with what we got. And what we got is what we got. And so Waller's killing it, but so did Jared Cook last year. He killed it. He did the same fucking thing. He's in the Pro Bowl, the only silver and black in the Pro Bowl. Because, why? Because Derek Carr had nobody else to throw the fucking ball to. He had no true number one. He had nobody else. And the same thing happened last year. Now, this year we've added more weapons, but Waller is basically now doing what Jared Cook did last year. He's trying to fill in as the number one wide receiver. He's trying to fill in and get it done. And we're basically trying to get it done by committee. And running back by committee typically doesn't work. Number one wide receiver by committee, I don't know how that's going to work either. The number one wide receiver? He's not the number one wide receiver. No way. I mean, if you want to try something crazy, I guess you could do that, but he's no. He is where he is because that allows him to get the matchups that he gets. Because whoever you stick out there on wide receiver, they're good to grab corner action. And you get the matchups, you get better matchups at tight end because, they typically end up on linebackers. They're not getting the number one and the number two corners. Not like whoever you're lining up at your number one and your number two wide receivers. It's a position of need, and I don't know what we're going to do about it. Moreau is solid. Moreau has been very solid, and we got two tight ends that you could start talking in your, up there in the top upper crust of tight ends in the NFL, and we got two of them on our team. Moreau has really proven to be a great find, but these are all great. This is all great. These are all nice pieces to have, but you're still missing key pieces. Key pieces. But I think that doesn't mean I know I've tried to drive this point home about this something we're missing tonight, but I don't want it to get lost, and I think that this team can't succeed because they're missing that piece. Because I don't believe that's true. It just makes things very, very difficult, and it takes away that dynamic aspect of your offense. It's that piece you're missing. So it gives you a little bit of that boring, grinded out type of offense that typically fans don't find sexy. They don't get all excited about it. You're not dropping back and heaving bombs. You're not playing the vertical game like the Raiders typically play. You're now playing a power football type game. Swing passes, screens, wide receiver screens, short passes, slants. You're starting to do that to just move the chains, get down the field. If you see it, you'll take a chance here and there, but you're going to be very conservative and very efficient. Carr's been good at that, but there becomes a time in every game. Exactly. You're missing that. You're missing that factor, Richard. You hit the nail on the head, man. You're missing. Teams don't have to respect that because they know we don't have that in our arsenal. We walk out on the field and they know we don't have that guy that's going to take them over the top. We don't have that guy that is just gonna blaze by somebody and be able to go up and get it over some. We don't have that guy. A truer statement couldn't be said. This team is built for third and short. It's built for third and short. It's built to grind teams out. And that's what it's built for. And that can happen. And that can be done. That can be done. So, we're going to have to see how things are moving forward. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, one of our big question marks now is Hudson. Andre James filled in nicely for him. We only got 10 snaps out of our 5 starters finally all together, and we get 10 snaps, and we lose our center, our fucking anchor, Rodney Hudson. He's not going to IR, but rumor has it is going to be a while before he's back. So, went out and picked up Magnuson off the practice squad. He was out there floating around. Listen, we're going to try to stop the bleeding there. That's basically it. Tom Cable has looked good at the coaching the offensive line. He was a big question mark. A lot of people wanted his head coming into this season, and he's proved the doubters wrong, man. The Cable guy is here to stay. One of the biggest bright spots, though, on this offense is by far our stud rookie running back leading the pack for the Rookie of the Year voting on offense is Josh Jacobs. The kid had a bad shoulder. He didn't even practice all week. And everybody kept telling me, he's not going to play. Like I said, bullshit, he's not going to play, man. This he's the real deal. You're not going to make him sit out. He wants to be out there. He wants everybody to know that he's that type of guy that you can't knock him out of the fucking starting lineup, that he will be in there every week, that you can fucking count on him. He's an old school type throwback type running back, a little fucking beast mode junior, man, and I am a huge Josh Jacobs fan, and he's getting it done, and he's not only getting it done for the Raiders, he's getting it done for my fantasy football team. He's helping the Silver and Black attack. We're on the comeback trail at 5-3 and looking good. So, Josh Jacobs is solid, and if you haven't been watching that fullback that's in front of him, that kid is fucking solid. And that rookie, these two together, Ingold and Jacobs, that's a pair you could be talking about for years and years to come, man. These guys could grow old together in Silver and Black. That's for damn sure. So, you look at a team coming in this weekend, coming into Oaktown, that's 3-1. And we're 3-4. So you got 2 teams right around 500 that are fighting for their playoff lives. Playoff lives. 2 quarterbacks who have been thrown a lot of money, Stafford and Carr. Both franchises believe these guys have what it takes. They just haven't had the proper weapons around them. Stafford's had more weapons around him than Carr has had. I hate to say it. They've never had a defense in Detroit, and they still really don't. But, he had Megatron. He's had more talent around him. And he's really not gotten it done. Carr, we've talked about that all night, about how he's never had that number 1 wide receiver. His one best year when he had the most talent around him, and you see what happened. I think this is going to be a tough game. This is not a walk in the park. Detroit is a solid team. Matt Stafford is a solid quarterback, and he can put up yards, and he can sling some touchdowns on you. So we've got to get after him. You've got to get to the quarterback, and that's something we have been doing. Our young guys up front have been getting to the quarterback. Mad Max and Benson Mayowa both have been huge and have been really bright spots up front. Those two who have been big surprises for me this season. Mayowa, Mad Max, I mean, you get him in the 4th round. I'm hearing his name more than I'm hearing Farrell's name, who was the 4th overall pick. So, a really impressive guy, especially since he set out all of preseason, basically, with the hand injury, and really a find at 4. Really a find at 4. Oh, what's going on with Farrell? I mean, he's been there. You've seen he's knocked down the ball. It's just he's got some bats, and he's been in the mix, but I really would have liked to seeing him be a little more of an impact player at this point in the season. He's kind of getting lost in the wash a little bit. I mean, as a whole, I think some people are being a little hard on him. A lot's expected from you when you're drafted that high and you're a team's number 1 overall pick. Especially when you see a guy like I just talked about. You know, we went out in the 4th round to get Mad Max, and you see a guy like him who, you know, he's getting his name called a lot more. And you want to see Farrell get his name called, and I think he will. He's involved, and when you watch the coach's tape, you do see him in the action. He's just not getting the stat building type plays that get your name called. And that'll come around. I think that'll come with him, and I see good things on the horizon for him, but I would like to see him turn it around, because a really strong defense right now could really help out this offense a lot. If the defense would have stood strong on a couple drives towards the end of the game last week, I mean, that's a win. At some point, we needed the defense to make a stop, to make a play. They were close to making plays, but you just needed that big play. You needed that momentum swing. It just hasn't come. Now, you did make the move, sending Conley to the Texans, and Trayvon Mullen moves into the starting position. He came out, and you started to see Lawson moving in a little at the end of the game. He was getting some action too. Mullen, as a whole, statistically, he didn't allow shit. He allowed very few yards. I think, 2 completions. He didn't drop the pick 6, which, you know, that it is what it was. It was towards the beginning of the game, so that didn't swing a game in any way, shape, or form. It would have been great. Would have started you off on a obviously a really, really good foot, but you can't swing a game at that early in the game. You just can't. There's so much transpired after. But Mullins did look solid. Mullen looked solid, and there's a reason why you parted ways with Garyon Conley. There were things they seen in-house. There was a reason why Conley got sent packing and Mullen was going to get the start this week. There's a reason you thought it was okay to make that move when you were playing that team this week. And Garyon Conley did not do very well as a whole. I was shocked to see them throw them out to the Wolves like that without knowing their scheme that well. He was involved, unfortunately, in the drop by Tyrell Williams, but I don't think that was great defense, and because of Garyon Conley, he should have caught the fucking ball. He should have caught the ball. I see Conley got toasted good. I mean, really bad on the one play. And apparently, I mean, he had his audition, man. We waited to see Garyon Conley make that turn, and he didn't. So it's Trayvon Mullen's turn, and it's time to. We're going to see what he's got this week. He's definitely going to get a testing in this week. Stafford's going to test him, man. The Lions are going to throw the ball, and Stafford's going to sling it down the fucking field. That is a definite, man. Our secondary is going to get tested. It's going to get tested. The penalties, Brian, yeah, the defense needs to stop the stupid penalties, but how do you do that in the day and age that is the NFL now? How do you stop with the stupid penalties? You're delegated, you're relegated to whatever the fucking officials want to do to you that week, man. It's I tell you, man, watching, anymore. It's mind-numbing. Every single time there's a fucking play, the first thing you look for is to see if there was a flag. Is there a flag? Every big play, the first thing you look for is to see if there's a fucking flag. It's ridiculous. If there's a sack, you're like, oh shit. You ref the fucking quarterback? You know? It's so hard, man, to play defense now. And yeah, there are some stupid things that you can cut out, but it's hard to be aggressive and take an NFL offense off of its game when all the rules are slanted towards them already. It's just tough, man. It's tough to play defense in the NFL right now. It's tough. Your offense has to score points. I mean, the entire fucking thing is geared around the offense scoring points. That's the way the NFL is set up right now. It's for the offense to score points. It's an offensive-driven league. And we're not set up that way. We don't have a number one wide receiver. We're built on a fucking running game and short passes to the tight end, slants to our quick wide receivers, quick movement plays like wide receiver screens, bubble passes, rollouts, these type of things. That's what we've been relegated to. So if you don't have the offense to put up these crazy points, and you got a defense that's struggling to keep the points down, that's a bad mixture, man. That's a bad mixture. It really, really is. But I've seen growth on this defense, and I've seen positive things from this defense, and I don't know why, but I'm not as negative on the defensive side of the ball as some people seem to be. I think we have good safety play. I like the safeties that we have. Communication is sometimes we're giving up the big play a little too much. But as a whole, I think that can be fixed. I don't think our defensive coordinator needs to be thrown in the scrap heap yet. I think Gunther can still fix this thing. We're beat up. We're beat up at linebacker. But we're starting to get some action up front of the young guys. I think we have decent corners. It's not trash at the corner positions. And we're solid at safety in the backside. So, is this a perfect team on defense? Do we have holes? Yes, yes, no, yes. But I've seen improvement in the way they played as a whole on this team. And the way they've played at points in this season. Enough to give me a little positive vibes that gives us a chance. So, I agree. I remember, Billy. Everybody wanted a lot of this offseason, too, man. A lot of people were fired Cable, but no such. And the offensive line's done good. It's unfortunate, man. So excited that we got that whole offensive line back together and we got 10 fucking plays out of them and Hudson goes down. 10 plays. Damn crying shame, man. Damn crying shame. But all of you folks that are ready to get crazy and lose your fucking mind because this team's 3-4. This team's going to get a W this week. We're going to be back to 4-4, and it's all about going what's forward. You have to string some wins together. We can't keep talking about it. It's got to become a reality at some point. You've got to win 2 or 3 games in a row here pretty fucking quick. You don't really even want to be sitting at 5-5. You really need to win these 3 home games. At the worst you can do is win 2 out of 3. That's the worst you can do, is win 2 out of 3. Because that would put you 5-5. But you need to be 6-4. You need to be 6-4. Because losing that game this week now vaulted Buffalo and Houston into those wild card spots. And we're on the outside looking in now. Now we got to fight our way back in to mathematically even be in the conversation. So this is a big win. Because over the next few weeks, you're going to start to see that separation. You're going to start to see that separation. You're going to start to see the teams that still have a shot and the teams that have none. I think it's a 9-17 this year. And it comes down to whether we have a shot at a wild card at 9-7. And if Houston and Buffalo continue on their current course, it's going to be difficult to make the playoffs at 9-7. But there's a lot of football left. We're in a half a season, and you have no idea what's going to happen. So I feel positive about what this team has going forward because of the schedule. But Greg, the biggest thing about that Texans loss and the worst thing about that Texans loss is because there's a good possibility that we're staring at the Texans for the same wild card spot. And if it comes down to a head-to-head matchup that we lost to the fucking Texans, and that's why we lose a wild card spot, that's really going to suck, man. That's really going to suck if it comes down to that game is why we get pushed out. Because they're in the hunt with us. So you lost to a team that you're possibly jockeying for 1 or 2 spots with at the end. So that's a concern. That's a concern. So I appreciate you guys all for joining me as always. We're back here in action. We've had to pull some things out. As you notice, we're not allowed to mention certain things in our live streams anymore because... it's certain stupid fucking rules. So we got to promote other things on the page, not during the shows. But it is what it is. Got to stay within the fucking stupid rules. So I appreciate each and every one of you joining me as always, man. You guys are the reason Raider Reaction is here. So please keep stopping in every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, every Sunday for halftime and our instant, immediate post-game reaction after the game's over. So we appreciate you as always. And what? Yeah, I know. What? It's that time. It is that time. What? Yes. It's time to wrap it up with that special little segment that I like to call my WTF. Now, my WTF for today is... Now, as some of you are aware, we've got a Facebook group, the Raider Reaction Empire, the Dark Side. It's a private group. You know, we've got to approve you to get in, and you know, our real page followers and the guys that like to cut it up with us and get the news and interact with us on a more personal basis, they're in there. So come to the Dark Side. But there are certain guys in there that I wonder if these guys are just trolling the Raider fans to try and get a rise, or what their fucking even motive is about the shit that they post and the stuff that they put in there. I mean, it's all other Raider fans in there, so why you're going at other Raider fans, I don't get it. But there's this guy, and he constantly is posting shit, man, and I do my best to not even interact on the comments on the page. I drop a post and walk the fuck away. I'll come back and look at the comments like hours later to be like, oh, I'm gonna start some shit here, and I'll walk away, and I want to see what the comments are. But there's this one of these guys, man, and his comments sometimes I just can't help myself. And he's drawn me in many times. And the motherfucker drew me in today. It wasn't even one of my posts. It was one of KD Raider's posts. And it was about Trayvon Mullen. And this motherfucker was trying to 100% pin this loss on Trayvon Mullen and the fact that we lost by 3 points and he dropped a pick 6. So by simple math, that means he's the reason we lost, right? I could not wrap my head around the fucking retardedness of this thought process. You're blaming a guy for the loss that dropped a fucking pick 6 in the first fucking quarter of the game. I couldn't even believe it. And then he has the audacity to come at me, and I don't even know what point he was trying to make. And was trying to come at me and say I was uncredible and all of this shit because I had said that AB was going to be ready for week 1. And it was all media hype. And he even went back and fucking found the clip of me from fucking months ago and posted the shit. And I'm just like, what are you trying to prove, motherfucker? There was media hype. That fucking story changed like I changed my underwear and socks. It changed fucking daily. That story changed. So you're gonna go back and pick like one little piece out of the fucking hours of shows that I've done in the how many months, and you're gonna take this one little piece and try to shove it up my ass. I was just like, dude, what the fuck? What are you on? What are you smoking? Are you huffing gas? What the fuck, bro? Well, I don't know what this dude was up. So you're not gonna be seeing that guy around the page anytime soon. I had to, unfortunately.
Yo, I suck. So long, sucker. So long, sucker. So long, sucker. So long, sucker.
Yeah, he's gone. You won't be seeing him around these parts anymore. It's unfortunate, but, you know, he can still watch. We just don't have to see his asinine fucking... This is like, it's Trayvon Mullen's fault we lost. It's Trayvon Mullen's fault. Insanity. Insanity. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Check out our website. Check out my other page, the Commish. Follow it. My personal page on Facebook. And of course, follow us. Raider Reaction. Go find that group, man. Click on the group tab, Raider Reaction. Come to the dark side. It's there. You should already be in that group if you ain't in it. If you ain't in it, I don't know what the fuck, man. Why aren't you in the dark side group? You watched the show. You're already with us already. You're down with Raider Reaction. Get in the group too. Shit. So you can speak your mind as well. Real, raw, uncensored, just like here. Thank you all for joining me. Be right back here tomorrow night. Prime's back. Me and Prime in the house tomorrow night. We're going to make all of our weekly picks. Join us and make the picks with us live. I'll see you tomorrow night. Same Raider time, same Raider channel. Until then, I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation!